All right, hello everyone. Welcome to Old Reader New Reader. I'm here with Freddie.
Hi.
Hello, Freddie.
So I
Thanks for
am
joining.
trying to see how to look at the chat. And no, not on my screen.
Oh, that's all right. I'll keep track of it for the both of us. So thank you guys for being cool. We had to move back the time a little bit. I was running late from class, and it gave me enough time to get a little bit of rest in between and take care of dogs. But we are here, and we are talking about Legend of Korra: Turf Wars. Look at that beautiful library edition
Very
that we both have.
nice.
You can also get this as 3 different trades as well, but these library editions are still like readily available for Korra, for Avatar. But because I am pretty busy, and I know Freya's busy also, I voted that we only do the first.
The first one, even though the second one has a prettier cover. Look at that.
It's so pretty. I like this is fun and colorful. Although it tricks
But,
you, right? You're like, oh man, more spirit world. And it's like psych.
but Kuvira though.
Oh god, I love Kuvira.
Yeah.
It's problematic, but I do. Yeah, so let's dig in. So this book continues on. Well, basically, Freddie's the old reader. I'm the new
Yeah.
reader here. I own this book, and then I finally read it when Freddie was like, "Hey, let's do this." I said, "Okay." um,
That's
but I'm a huge Korra fan, huge Avatar fan. And this book, basically, this is the start of the Legend of Korra comics. It continues on right after the show is done, right? There's nothing else about them in the spirit world, correct? I lost you. You there?
We say nothing. What?
Hey, sorry.
Yeah.
I can't tell if it slowed down on your end or
Say that
my end.
again.
Yeah, so this is the start of
I
the
think
Legend of Korra comics past the
Yes.
show, correct? Yeah. Okay. So
Yes.
there will be spoilers-ish for the end of Legend of Korra.
For the show and for the comic.
For the show and the comic. Because this naturally continues the show. Because at the end of the show, Korra and Asami get together and they end up going, this portal opens into the spirit world and they go in there. And then we pick up with them in the beginning of this book. They've been traveling in the spirit world and something happens and they are returning back to the regular world, which, so beautiful. I'm going to highlight you.
Yeah.
Look at that. Beautiful.
And it starts off right immediately when they get out in the spirit world.
It's so good. Just the layout, the colors, the art, everything is really beautiful in here. And
so cute.
So cute. And honestly, like you've got some different artists working on here, but it feels so faithful to the character design and everything of the original show. So if you're already a fan of the art of the Korra show, you're gonna get the same thing here. It's not everyone can be. I don't know if you can hear my dog running back and forth. Sorry about that. There's a lot of comics that continue shows. I'm speaking of like Buffy and Angels as my like go-to, and not every comic does a good job of like staying true to the medium that it's based off of or continuing from. But I'm very impressed that Legend of Korra definitely sticks the landing.
It does.
For this. Absolutely.
And it helps that the creators are heavily involved. They wrote the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you read the intro and the foreword.
No.
No? Okay.
I read the end of it.
That's fine. There's a foreword by Michael Dante, and he talks about the evolution of how the show ended to now we're slightly better at representing LGBT, so we're not exactly where we should be, but just enough that this book gets to breathe and develop more. And then there's an introduction by Irene Coe, who's the artist, and she says basically she's a huge fan. She was so excited when she finished watching the show, and she's like, "Where's it gonna go next?" Oh, I'm doing the next thing. Okay.
I get to help decide. Oh, hello everyone. Thank you for hanging out with us. All these Omni dogs, like different names. Gabby, hello. Yeah,
Yeah.
I dyed my hair for the first time ever. Yeah, I did. I went to the spirit world, and it just replaced my hair. So I thought it was time to be Red Sonja in real life. So, going for it. Hello, Cameron. So yeah, let's dig. There's a lot in this, and a
There's
lot of this
there's
is,
so much.
man, it really sure mirrors the real world events in a big way. A lot of times, this book,
Right.
I was like, oh,
There's a few lanes to pick, so let's go with the most lighthearted one first. Bolin is now a cop.
adorable,
Adorable. Continuing the theme
adorable.
of changing profession every season. He's
I
partnered
love
with
it.
Mako.
Yeah. And Bolin's still with Opal. I love Bolin.
Oh, it's so cute.
Honestly, this book could have used more Bolin. I mean,
It
I
could
know that this book was not about Bolin and Mako.
no.
They're not the main characters in this. Not that they were the main characters, but they kind of got more,
Yeah.
forward time. I could have used more of them. That's the only downside.
Right. And that's a bit of what happens in Ruins of the Empire. You get a little bit more time with some other characters, but you always miss the team Avatar.
Yeah.
It's not fully back, but we see them together at least. They shine. They have their moments. Mako has an adjustment period to what's going on.
Yeah, so I guess let's talk about that. So, part of the starting is they don't go back to, I always forget all the city names. That's where I'm gonna fail with this.
Yeah, they
Um,
Republic City immediately.
yeah, so like they didn't go there immediately. They're like, hey, Cora's like, hey, I want you to meet my parents first instead, which is a big deal. They have
Yeah.
just started dating. And she's like, no, but I want you to meet them. And she's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, it's cool. And she brings up, and her parents are like super supportive, except for her dad saying like, oh, but don't
Yeah.
tell anyone though. Maybe not make a big deal about it.
Yeah, he's like, "Who have you told?" And it's and Korra being Korra, she blows it up, of course.
Oh, she's she she's never dealt with anything not just
No.
bullheadedly, which I think it's a fun character trait. It's annoying for some people. It can be hard to read, but yeah, it's like maybe don't tell everybody. People don't totally understand, which is not something I was expecting in like Avatarverse, I guess. In a fantasy world, it's like, oh, everybody's cool with everything, and
No.
they're like, ooh, dating another girl though. Ooh. I mean, I'm cool with it, but like, don't spread it around. And so she gets pissed and leaves, which was interesting. Again,
It
not
is very.
expecting them. And then they're like, yeah, let's just go straight to Republic City. And we get to Republic City, and the portal is open. This spirit portal, which is right in this like metropolis, basically, like the biggest
Yeah. It's
city.
it. It's in the middle of the hub of the most populated city in the world, and it's a context. The spirit world has been apart for 10,000 years. It's just recently been opened, and it's been in the two poles where it's not very populated, and now it's in the biggest human city. The spirits are not happy.
Of course not, because naturally, as humans do,
Mm-hmm.
the big rich guy whose property is near this is immediately like, oh man, I'm gonna do tours. I'm gonna bring everybody to the spirit world. We are gonna monetize this. And so immediately when they get there, all of the air nomads are like, hey, whoa, 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 no. That is not what happens here. And the
Mm-hmm.
spirits are like, no, that's not what's gonna happen here. And even Asami's like, yeah, F you guys, no way. And Korra's like, hey, guys, listen, there's got to be a better way. We can keep the portal open. People, can go. We're supposed to be together. But, like, I'll spook the guy and he'll quit it. I'll do some Avatar stuff. I'll blow some wind his way. He'll just leave it alone, which is not what happens, of course.
No, of course not, because she threatens the the highlights out of him, and then he gets some muscle.
Yeah, of course. She did it in a very Korra way where she's just like, I'm gonna do my Avatar thing with my white eyes and like freak him out. But that's not how you deal with everything.
No, especially not a businessman.
Yeah, as we see in real world, the one percenters, businessmen don't like that. Quick comment from Mr. Zube. Have you
Eh,
guys seen the live action or live reading of Turf Wars with the voice actors of the Dark Horse channel? They even swear it's hilarious. Wish they'd continue it. No, I haven't.
I did. It's it's weird. Some of the voice actors were missing, so others filled their role. That's
Yeah,
also funny and a bit disappointing at times because you want to hear the voice,
yeah.
but it's very cool. It's worth it.
I bet it's fun. I remember I was at a convention one year where it was Dante Basco and he was hanging out with the voice actors from Animaniacs, and they did a live reading of The Matrix, but they cycled through different of their different character voices, and it
Okay.
was pretty funny. Although Dante Basco, no shade, I love him. Every character voice sounds the same. I mean, but
It's
it's okay.
it's the slightest pitch of difference that you
Yeah.
can only tell if you're seeing both of them immediately after, and it might just be because his voice changed with time. To be honest.
Mhm. Yeah. So also in the middle of this, because like the city's been leveled,
Hmm.
we are given like a very interesting
Yeah.
like dynamic. 'Cause we've got like
Yeah, we have a refugee crisis with half of the city homeless, and President Reiko continues to be the worst and doing absolutely
the
nothing.
worst. It's too real. Because immediately, right, like instead of, okay, let's focus on rehoming these people, let's focus on feeding them. He's like, no, we need to pay for more police and we need to rehome the
Mhm.
government building. And everyone's like,
Yeah, everyone's.
what? Why is that the first thing you do? Like, no, we need to really up it on the police
Hmm.
instead. And I'm pretty sure everyone's like, no, that's not the thing to do, Raiko. And Raiko hasn't even left his own place. He's just been hanging out up top of his building, where
Yeah,
like Tenzin and Julie are the ones taking care of everybody.
and he's very focused on publicity at the moment because the
Yeah.
election's coming up, and even though at the moment he had no opponent whatsoever, he was very focused on publicity, which disappointingly is very real world.
Oh, too real. I think, and I enjoyed this, but I was like, ooh, because Korra is more adult, right? And you
Mhm.
deal with a lot more like really real things, but it's put in this veil of like fantasy world and bending and all this cool stuff. But Turf Wars definitely feels very real, and it's very tough to read during a time where a lot of this is reflected in everybody's like daily lives in front of them. And we also have like the turf war part of this, because since like the city was
Mhm.
leveled, these different like triads that were running the town, running the like underbelly, have kind of been displaced, and which has given way for new groups to kind of come in and take that opportunity. And you've got like our main ish bad dude,
Our main
who's
villain, Tokuga,
yeah,
and
Tokuga,
and we have another one, Jargala, who is the coolest antagonist
who
so far.
is a hottie, like the hottest. I need to find her picture. I When she showed up, I was just like, this is it. And they even in the end of the book, they describe her as being like a foil to Asami, the same way that um oh gosh, I forgot her name. The the bad guy of the last season was for Korra. So they made her as being like the antithesis of Asami, which is
Mhm.
really cool. And she's so beautiful. She's got this almost like Esmeralda looking
Yeah,
vibe, right? This more flowy hair. She's curvier. Like,
and
I
you
love
say
her.
you say Esmeralda, well, her thing is literally emeralds.
Yeah, it's so cool. I love seeing new bending.
Yes.
And so she's also like popping up talking to Asami this whole time, like, hey, I want you to team up with me, or you're gonna have to face the consequences. So we have them going back and forth.
Mhm.
Oh man, loved her. Loved her. And Tokuga is not a bender. He's just really good at like hitting people.
Yeah.
He's one of those chi blockers, or he can hit him right, like almost like acupuncture points, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, and
I
he also
like,
uses knives.
yeah.
I don't know if I have that right.
Oh, sorry. um. So, but he's interesting because I don't quite get his motive. It's more of just like burn the city down because.
Yeah, it's it seems like he's trying to win the turf wars, but at the same time, he starts off as a flunky for
Crumb?
the
Cram?
businessman,
Yeah.
and he gets. This is the first time we see it happen in modern times. He gets spirited. Um, uh, when we saw Avatar 1, the first Avatar, we saw that humans were getting disfigured by spirits.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen that for 10,000 years. So this was kind of a big deal seeing it for the first time. It shocked me to the core, like seeing how horrible, not only like it is, but just how it was, the process. Because
Hey, Rob.
I don't think we saw the process very quickly. We never saw it with like given time, just like
Yeah.
background characters.
And I had forgotten this had ever happened before.
Yeah.
So I was really blown away because like what Freddie's talking about, we get to this section later where there is a there's a fight outside of the portal. And a spirit comes out and Tokuga is there. And this spirit is fighting everything, but Korra is trying to also help. She's trying to protect the portal, but she's also trying to protect Asami. But she can't protect Asami and protect Tokuga. And the spirit has decided that like Tokuga's the one that like effed up and flies himself through Tokuga, making him disfigured with like half of a dragon face. But honestly, just helping. I know he tried to like make things worse for him, but ultimately he gave Tokuga like really cool dragon hand. So I was like, really, you just did him a solid, is what I'm saying. You just gave him powers, but thanks. But it was cool because I hadn't seen that before, and it definitely introduces something really interesting to, you know, the Avatar verse as
Yeah,
far as like what enemies you'll deal with.
look at him using that squid arm.
Yeah. Which I thought was cool. I mean, although again, I don't. This villain to me is like very nonsense. Like I don't feel like he has a lot of like oomph to his backstory.
No.
He's just like, man, I hate things, buh. And then and then he becomes this figure with like a cool snake arm. He's like, I hate things more. Like,
Yeah.
okay, but that's fine.
Yeah,
Um,
but especially after seeing Jargala, we lose interest in him very quickly. We're like, no, go back to this
yeah, because I love her, because she's fantastic, and I only want her around. Um, yeah, and we get some more back and forth because we're also still dealing with um, um, the issues in town with Raiko being continually a bad president, not really taking care of things, taking all the credit for things, taking credit for Mako or for Asami's work, and
Yeah.
then this back and forth still of like the air nomads trying to like protect the portal, while Raiko has decided that okay, we need to send troops into this portal,
Mm-hmm.
and it's this big back and forth, and no one's listening to each other, and the army's like, well, we've been ordered to do this by Raiko, we have to just deal. Ugh. And Iroh, I'm like, how, your grandfather would, or your father or grandfather would never. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
Iroh's a difficult character because, of course, he has that pride thing going on. So he's very much about following orders as a general, but and we see that in season 1, I think it is, that he's gonna help
Yeah.
Korra, but then Raiko finds out and he's like, "Oop, I've been ordered not to help you."
I was like,
But
Zuko
when
did
we saw
not go
Iroh's
through
gas, he
everything he
did that.
went through for you to just blindly follow orders, Iroh. You were named after the wittiest man, the most intelligent, most wise man, and you do this.
Right. But the other
Disappointment.
Iroh also had a 50 years uh span of, following orders that he probably shouldn't
Yeah, no excuse.
have.
No excuse.
Yeah.
Zuko should have taught his kids better. Just saying.
This is his grandson.
Grandson, still.
Yeah.
The lineage should have been better.
Cat entered. Okay.
Okay. There's so much in here. I'm trying to figure out the best way to talk about it and have it not be so boring. And I mean boring for other people. We were in the know.
Yeah.
And
Let's
one of
see.
the other sidelines I like the most is I love Julie.
Julie was incredible in this.
I've always loved her. I think she's fantastic. I love her character growth, the original story, and she is the way she takes care of just everything in this from the get-go. She is taking care of the citizens. They are her first priority. She is gathering people, she is arranging food, she's arranging housing. She's been in control and basically is like, "You know what? I think I will like run for president. I think I could be a much better one." And her man immediately is like, "Yeah, I support you. I'm going to be there for you." After all those years of like telling her what to do, he's the one who's like the supportive husband. He's like, "Honey, I love it. I've got you. Do the thing,"
And it's very that moment's hilarious because it follows up after he's like, "Oh, a massage, okay," and he sits down and she looks at him very threatening, like, "I thought I was the one getting a massage."
Yeah. Oh, right, of course, dear. I love how much that dynamic has continued and switched.
And evolved.
It's so cute. You just love to see it. It's great. Okay.
Yeah.
There is a lot in here.
And let's see. The airbenders fight.
I guess we can talk about I guess move towards the climax, sort of.
Yeah, we're skipping a very big thing, and I don't know if we're skipping it on purpose, so I won't talk about it yet.
Oh, we can talk about anything. Go ahead.
No, but then Asami gets captured.
Yeah, that's the next thing.
Because well, we could skip to the ending. I don't know. We've talked a lot about the middle so far.
Let's talk about Asami because we haven't focused on her a lot.
Right.
Because she misses a date with Korra, and we'll spend some time talking about their all issues or whatever later. But yeah, she gets kidnapped. And they have to go find her, and they think it's one person, but they were wrong. It's Tokuguk, of course. Because he's a dick. We can curse on this show. He's a dick.
Mm-hmm.
And gets him. Again, for reasons I don't quite understand, except for just like to agitate the Avatar and have her make things for him.
Well, I think he saw how Korra immediately forgot everything and went straight to saving Asami.
That's true.
First battle. So he says, "Okay, if I have this person, Korra won't go after me." But of course, Korra is Korra. She's not gonna stop.
Man, she's got no chill, which is fun to see, especially if you're an Avatar fan, because you're like, whoa. She is not Aang, even close. She's so hard-headed.
Yeah. Korra does not say, "Oh, I'm gonna tone it down." No, she says, "I'm gonna go even harder."
She's definitely like, if you were talking about gender stereotypes, she is not one. She exhibits what you'd see a lot more from like your typical like male protagonist for like that kind of stuff. She's like overly protective. She is so impulsive and headstrong, but she's also like very sweet too. Like she's like this and hard-headed, but immediately she's like, "Oh yeah, I love you," like it's very that cutesy, and then immediately like, "Wait, you need something? No, I'll take care of it for you." Like, "Oh, fine," that kind of attitude. It's good she's with Asami because Mako could not have handled either of them if he even tried.
No. And there's a line that he says that I want to talk about later. But Asami's kidnapped, but she's not the only victim. The
Mhm.
businessman has also been kidnapped, and they bond a little bit because there has to be someone that changes heart in Avatar.
Yeah, which I
Uh,
I liked that bit. That was good.
it was good. It felt very refreshing to see one percenter say at the end, "Hey, my land, you can have it."
Yeah. Yeah, because I like the going back and forth because they were in prison together, and
Mhm.
he's talking to her about how, like, he used to work with her father, and Asami's like, "I literally stopped talking to him for the same reasons that kind of you're participating, for the illegal activity, for doing, violent, harmful things."
Mhm.
And ultimately, he regretted all of that later in life. And she kinda got to him a little bit, because even he was like, "Yeah, I wasn't gonna work with your father because he was doing some illegal stuff." But now he's ultimately become that thing,
Mhm.
and he's been saved and everything else, like, and finally he's like, "Yeah, okay, I messed up. What I was doing was problematic and, like, not helping anything, and I was just getting in the way of, like, the ultimate harmony here," which is nice.
And it's very interesting that he's the one character that starts the diplomacy between spirits and humans by being, an antagonist that
Yeah.
changes fate, which is something that Korra did not do. Thank you for being the bridge.
Oh, for real though, and, like, I know we're skipping around, but, and we'll get to, but, ultimately, Korra is not a good diplomat. I mean, she did great at the beginning as far as being, like, someone to raise the spirits of, like, the people there, the displaced people. She's great at that kind of thing, that kind of heroism, but she's not a diplomat. Even with spirits that she should be connected to, she does not have the eloquence of avatars that came before her. She she's just she's so brash and blunt, and she doesn't know how to talk to people. Like, her charisma is obviously low. And yeah, if the business guy wasn't like, "Yeah, okay, my bad. My bad. You guys can have the lands, it's cool." Everything would have been ruined just completely, which is a great point. Aw, you're welcome to show your cat to everybody.
Someone is trying to talk to me, but I can't see her.
I can hear.
Oh, she wants to go outside. Yeah, no, it's too dark. You're not going outside.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. What else? So we have someone running for president that ultimately, in the final moments when, you know, obviously he doesn't stop at just kidnapping them, he goes to have his vengeance again against the spirits for disfiguring him, and while the spirits go kick ass, uh, someone is saving them. It's Julie. And Varric is
Yeah.
doing a mover for the first time, and she stars as a protagonist, which, besides doing her obvious help, it does, uh, you know, further her cause when people see, oh, she actually like went hands on and saved the child.
Oh, genius. Yeah, because that yeah, right, because like, towards the end, we've got this bit, right, where they're trying to evacuate everybody because Tokuga has taken this ship. He's gonna try to release some poisonous gas in the area right around the portal to harm all the people in the town, to harm anything that's else is around there, and uh, uh, the president just, like, dipped. He's like, "Nah, I'm not gonna be there. I'm leaving in my car, whatever." And
Yeah,
Julie immediately rushes in to help people because there's a girl by herself. They get it on the movie. There's this like very sweet moment where she brings the kid to her mom. She has this nice embrace, and he's like, please tell me you got that on film," knowing that that's gonna cinch the election completely.
yeah. Here we go.
Perfect. Very cute. Look
This
how
one
cute they
right
are.
here. Uh, please tell me you got that.
Yeah. Perfect. But yeah, and follows this really great, and it's this. There's a lot of action sequence before that, which isn't easy to break down like it's for me. I'm never good at like really describing an interesting way big action scenes. But there is this beautiful action scene back and forth where like
Mhm.
Korra goes to save Asami, and he's already spread the gas, but it doesn't affect him. And she does that cool. I really do appreciate the cool thing she did with like the airbending to basically make it so she and Asami can breathe without being affected by the poisonous gas.
Right.
And it looks the same as it did when that woman almost suffocated, or
Yes.
did suffocate.
When she killed the queen, yeah.
Yeah.
The mask is off, and then the next page. Ta-da!
Yeah, I love that little almost like fishbowl looking thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was really creative.
Yeah, it's such a cool airbending move.
Yeah.
And obviously there's an even bigger one.
Big old splash page.
Yeah, big old splash page with all the airbenders getting rid of the gas.
Yep. And so finally this results in, of course, the businessman like giving away his land to the spirits. Everyone's happy. There's a big ball. Julie is elected president. Everyone's really happy, and they have this nice little sweet ending with Asami and Korra like, I love you too. But we don't know where Tokuga is.
No, he escapes, and
Yeah.
they do the very the villain will be back. I think we haven't seen the last of him.
Oh, totally. Hello, Kyle. Thank you for hanging out. But yeah, so it's probably a very simplistic kind of overview of this. But I really enjoyed this. Now I don't know. I don't know how enjoyable it is to be to somebody who's not watched the show. I don't think I can recommend it as far as like, because some things you can recommend and be like, yeah, it's cool. You don't need to watch the thing. You need to watch the show to enjoy this book.
Yeah, specifically, you need to watch last season.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch Korra to understand. You're gonna have to watch it to understand to understand where these characters came from too, and understand the dynamics between characters, because you've got a newly together Korra and Asami, who have to deal with that. Who they're best friends. One of them they both dated, so that's a big thing to deal with. And also understanding just the in and outs of like airbending, or not airbending, but just bending in general, what Korra's come from, and all the other just like dynamics and politics and everything between everybody. You're not going to understand without watching the show. That being said, if you have watched the show, this is just going to feel like more of the show. You're going to be very pleased. I don't think there's anything in here I was like, oh, that's slow or dumb or doesn't make sense. The characterization's perfect. The art's perfect. Color's perfect. It just felt true and perfect to the show, and like a wonderful continuation and a very compelling continuation. And I'm already dying to read the rest.
Right? I knew you were going to get to the end, and you were like, I need to read the next one.
I know, man. And if I had had more time, I would have been like, yeah, let's read all of it. But that's okay. That just gives us more to read later. Right. Loved it.
Of course. There was another hero-villain alliance, which was Jargala, who we accidentally accused her of doing something she did not do.
Number one babe.
Don't know where that ends up. That's very left there.
I mean, I assume that we will be dealing with her later, because with Tokuga gone, she can now reclaim her turf. And I would love to see more of her bending with this like emerald. It's very cool. It's like watching somebody like bend ice. Very cool.
Right, especially that we've seen the crystals before and being bended, but not to that extent. From King Boomy. So it's been a while.
Love it. She's so cool. So cool. Yeah, I mean, we already talked about this fast.
Well, we did half an hour before getting to the big thing, which is LGBT and Avatar.
Yeah.
Because obviously, anyone that's watched the show knows that the ending, we don't see them confirm it so much as, they hold hands, they go on a trip. Obviously, they meant something, but they had to tone it down.
Yeah.
And it was confirmed by the showrunners, they're in a romantic relationship. This is the start of it. But we're not allowed to see it. And if you were watching animated shows at that time, Marceline and Bogum were being hinted at.
Yeah.
But again, Cartoon Network would not allow them to confirm. Steven Universe is just around the corner, and so it's a very prominent moment in LGBT history. It's a very like the turn of it. This is just before we're allowed to see a kiss.
Yeah, and it was such a big deal because, like, one, I did not see it coming, and I don't know many people that did. But when it did happen,
No,
everyone lost their minds.
but it makes
And
sense because it's one
yeah,
of those twists. Because you have the whole season, she's not talking to anyone. She's recovering from a PTSD
mm-hmm.
in season 4, and when she finally gets back to her friends, she reveals that she's been in contact with only one person, and it was Asami. And when we see her letters that she says, "Oh, it's easier to talk to you than the others," in the rewatch, you're like, "Okay." The first time,
Yeah,
you're like, "Ah, best friends." That
yeah,
feels.
yeah, and what I appreciate is that they had a lot more freedom in the book to like more explain that, because I'm sure that some people, some naysayers maybe, or even just regular reader or watchers, like, okay, this felt undeserved. Maybe I didn't. None of my friends were saying that, but I come from a different crowd. But I could see that some people be like, this feels undeserved. We don't understand why they came to this conclusion, how this relationship come about. But they take the time to explain this more about like, they each had that conversation at the beginning, like, when did you realize? And when did you realize? And kind of go back and forth. Like, Korra realized when she was poisoned, and Asami came to help her. Um, and they kind of talk about how this came about and how there wasn't an easy point for them to talk to the other one, see like how the other one felt. It
No,
was
because
nice. I appreciate them having that conversation and then having the conversation about their relationship with other people. Like, I always forget her name, but Aang's cool daughter,
Kia, who
Kia.
who gives us the 411 on Avatar LGBT history, which is amazing.
Oh,
She
so interesting.
she blocks it down from the 4 nations, as well as we formally see her coming out, or
Yeah.
she already has, but to
And
the
honestly, no surprise. I
no
was like,
surprise,
yeah,
just tell you,
duh.
oh, she's the single aunt without kids who went around
Yeah,
exploring. She didn't
it's
have
like,
any responsibilities. Okay, you were taking care of your mom at a late age. Yeah, I see who you are, Kia.
mm-hmm. Well, and shocked about the what Avatar Kyoshi too, and I was like, I mean, duh.
And I don't have them with me right now, but the Kyoshi novels, amazing.
I've heard great things.
We see her in like exploring with a boy crush and then an actual girl
Love it.
relationship. It's perfect.
Love
Uh,
it.
so the 411, she tells us that the Earth Kingdom, even though the greatest avatar ever, Kyoshi, uh, was bisexual. She had relationships with either and both genders. Did is not like they're like this. Like yes,
Yeah.
Kyoshi. They don't see her as a whole person. They don't accept same sex relationships. It's and then she talks about the water tribe, which
Mm-hmm.
is very much what we saw. It's like okay in the home, but don't take it out to the streets.
Yeah.
This is a private thing. You can't show it off like a straight relationship.
But the airbenders were like, nah, it's cool.
And the Airbenders were very okay, and no surprise there because they were the Catholic school of the nations. Like, here's the boy only temple, here's the girl only temple. What do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah. But Fire Nation, like, once
And then
the
we
Emperor
talk
came,
about the
he's like,
Fire
no.
Nation that at first was very accepting. It was a very liberal country, but then as the 100-Year War and Susan's Comet came,
Yeah.
they outlawed same-sex relationships. Further giving us a very Nazi Germany vibe.
Oh yeah, and it's definitely like you can tell. I mean, just like how Avatar's always done, and it's these different nations that they have in here are inspired by, different actual countries and different like historical events. And they do it very well because you can read through and be like, ooh, this feels like this country, and these reminds me of China and saying the very obvious like homosexual stories in Chinese literature and history, and then like they're like, no, 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 that didn't happen. Feminine men? Nah, they don't exist here. And you're like, that emperor cut off his own sleeve so his boyfriend wouldn't have to wake up while he was sleeping on it. Okay, sure. It was so cool, and it felt very genuine and normal, and it didn't feel forced, and like they felt like a real normal couple that fought and didn't really quite understand each other, but at the same time were very like affectionate. It felt very natural, and even me, like I read a lot of books like that have, LGBT relationships. It felt uncharacteristically normal. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is nice. It just feels like anybody else, which was cool.
So, and another thing, if you were disappointed with how the show ended, that did not show you, we have the big moment
Oh man.
on the very few first pages,
Well,
and
and
it is
they kiss
romantic
constantly.
as hell.
They are always like hugging and kissing.
Yeah,
So,
they're always very romantic. Like, look,
it feels. Oh, I'll highlight again.
they're looking at that sunset together.
So cute. It's so cute. And don't worry, you still get some great moments with all the other characters. You still get to see them a lot. Tenzin, of course, you see a lot, and I love seeing him because I just feel like he's dopey. So yeah, I guess we can do rating time and then just chill with a chat if you all want to chill and talk. Freddie, this is your second time reading this. What would you give Legend of Korra Turf Wars? I know you read the other Korra books, so it sounds like the other ones you might rate a little bit higher, but
Yeah,
how do
the
you feel?
Ruins of the Empire is definitely a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
This one is around the 9 to 9.5. It is
Yeah.
so good, but alas, I want more characters, and we didn't get enough Jarkala.
Yeah. Oh god, I love her.
But the art is amazing. Erin Coe really killed it, and I was almost disappointed she didn't do the next book. But they also got another great Asian artist for the book, which is another thing. They actually got Asian artists involved in the books, which
Which is I'm so thankful for.
you don't really think about it, but then you see Jin Lun Yang writing the first Avatar books. You see that they went so far as to get other people to like represent their own cultures, because I love me Brian and Michael, but they white.
Yeah, it matters. It matters because you need to have people that understand the cultures that it's coming from. And actually, I was so excited to see like actual Chinese written in here. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
neat.
that's a thing that began
Cool.
with Jin Lun Yang. He actually went to his mom because he doesn't know how to write it. He went to his mom
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I need help because I'm doing a book and I wanted to be authentic."
Yeah, I didn't take time to translate anything. But I was like, yay. Neat, because that
and
makes sense.
and if you have, your rating, yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah, I agree. I give it a 9 out of 10 because I feel like um it's gonna if you're Avatar fan, if you're a core fan, this gives you exactly what you want. It is it gives you like another like 10 episode arc. Basically,
Yeah.
you're gonna get exactly what you're looking for with here, a continuation, some time with everybody. You'll be pleased. Anyways, continue now.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're one of those people that have the Avatar books and you're like, oh, I love it, but I don't know if Korra's good enough. Oh, it very much is. Get it. And if you stop at Avatar and you have the books, watch Korra, all of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not as wide, but the difference is that the Korra books are actually oversized, unlike the design.
Oh, see, I didn't realize that. Yeah, because that's how the Dragon Age library editions are too. So those Avatar ones have a lot of like author notes in the side.
They do.
Okay, actually,
But not
kind of
every
like
page
that.
has it. They have so few
Oh,
commentary that you're like, is it really worth
really?
it?
See, like the Dragon Age one had constant commentary throughout, which is
No.
neat.
Like I even opened it in a page without commentary. Like look at this, no commentary whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a
The
bummer.
notes are like, this is our favorite scene in the chapter. Okay, thanks for that.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, but still,
But yeah, this is beautiful. It's just gorgeous.
they are gorgeous. So
But yeah, everyone should watch Korra as well if you're an Avatar fan. Everyone should watch Avatar if you haven't.
and get
There's a definitely different vibe. Yeah, everybody buy that, please. They're constantly on sale from places too. So if you're worried about price tag for like library editions, these are constantly on sale
Dark
places.
Horse is very good at reprinting the Avatar ones more than the Korra ones, but the Korra ones have come back, and they probably will keep coming back with Avatar Studios being formed.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. I've got dogs rolling bones around. I like the art moving away from the animation accurate Goody Hiru went for, which is a bit stiff for me. I can feel that. But yeah, I mean, I wish I could have every comic as like a library edition. You know, I like library editions more than omnibuses. Like, this is my preferred way of collecting anything. For sure. And no dust jacket.
No, these don't have.
Love that. Love that for me. But yeah, if there's no other comments, we can wrap it up early, I guess. I know it's later than usual. So next week I will be back with, let me check the date. Oh yeah, next week is Han Solo and Chewbacca. Kristen's joining. So Star Wars time. And Freddie, I'd love to pick a date sometime for later this year, maybe November, to read another Korra book or Avatar or something, or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Or if you feel like joining sometime next month, I know we're gonna be picking some spooky books for October.
Oh, I have plenty of spooky books to recommend. Like I have one right here, which is so the Hispanic month is very weird because it's divided between September 15th up until October 15th. But it puts us in the spooky season, and we have Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider. You don't need to know anything about Ghost Rider. It's super. It's. I don't want to say it's cute, but it can be cute. It's gory. It's violent. Felipe Smith writes all 17 issues collected in the complete collection, as well as draw some of the issues. And Robbie Reyes has a brother in a wheelchair. I forget if he's autistic.
Okay.
But it's very important for the plot.
Yeah.
Like it's not just like, oh, he's there. No, it's a very big motivator for Robbie's character.
I dig that. James, any update when Fangirls will return? I need both your updates on how the Netflix horror series Circle is going. So I haven't posted because I've been busy today, but this month's schedule for Fangirls is real wacky because of Kristen's new schedule. We'll be on tomorrow at 7. Yeah, tomorrow at 7.
Right.
But I'll make a social media post about it.
Tomorrow you're talking about these, right?
Yeah, Skulls and Scoundrels.
These are the image covers, but they're at TKO now.
I need to find time to fit in reading them.
They're very quick. I read them like in a snap.
Okay. I'll probably read during lunch tomorrow, but not in my office because people don't know I read comics. Or maybe they do.
Maybe.
It's secret. All right. Well, Freddie, thank you for hanging out and thank you for being cool with me moving the time.
No, it's fine.
This was fun, and I hope that you get some sleep because I know you've been super busy.
Yeah, like 3 months on a Disney Plus show, and then today a half-day gig turned into a full day.
Man, that's the best. Well, thank you, and thank you for the chat for hanging out. I hope you liked this video. If you're checking us out later, comment down below what you thought about the book or any recommendations for future videos, or if you're like, hey, if you like Legend of Korra, you'll like such and such. And subscribe for future videos and join Patreon to vote for the pick of the month for us. So yeah, have a good night, everybody, and thank you, Freddie.
Yeah, happy nightmares.